Hello and welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. I'm Johnny Blaine. It's Groundhog Day. We are back on a Monday after a home defeat, but rare sighting of Jake Robson. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
With Gary Diamond. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I had some news from pre-kickoff.
Pregnant.
I am pregnant. Pre-game little meet-up.
Yeah.
You, Adam, Nathan, Gary.
Yeah.
And you didn't buy Adam Nathan a pint.
Well,
Talk to me.
I did in the end.
Well, he claims you didn't.
No, I did in the end.
Oh, right.
He said there was confusion.
Right.
Yeah. He
Wasn't much confusion. You just forgot to get him a pint.
forgot to get him a pint. But then I made up for it by remembering to get him a pint.
Or him asking you 3 times.
And that.
So how was the little meet? I couldn't make it. I tried.
You weren't missed.
No, I know that. I absolutely
Wow.
know that. I know that.
It was great. It was nice to see Gary outside these 4 walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. On form. Holding court.
Always on form, man.
Absolutely.
Were you holding court? Were you signing autographs and stuff?
were you just kissing babies? Yeah.
Were you at a table? Jake's handing over Gary's autobiography and you're just signing them.
There was a guard of honour as he walked through. Your usual chair, Mr.
Worst
Diamond.
biography wouldn't even be a page in a book.
Adam Nathan's in the comments. He's not here today, but he's here in spirit. Just in
Well,
the
he's
comments.
literally here. And I tell you who else we met.
Who?
The man, the myth, the legend. Christopher Hall.
Oh, yeah. I really want to meet Christopher Hall.
Christopher Hall. What a guy.
Wonder what time he left the game this week.
He shouldn't have even bothered going, really. I mean, a hell of an effort, but
He comes from Newcastle every week, and I come from
amazing.
Northwest London and can't be bothered.
yeah.
So I was there, and we'll come to it.
But yeah, what a guy. Chris Hall of An Echo of Glory comments fame. Lives in Newcastle. Travels for every Tottenham match. Home and away. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And he was there in the pub at Antwerp.
great,
Great to meet him.
great. All right, some club news. We asked last week. We'll start with looking ahead to Aston Villa in the FA Cup. We asked last week, would the club make the right decision and make the ticket prices for the FA Cup third round against Villa affordable? And they did.
Yeah.
£30 for adults, £10 for kids. But what they did, which really pissed me off, was gave season ticket holders a 7-hour window to buy your ticket. And I was charged with getting my father's ticket, and I logged in at 3 minutes too late, and you can't buy it now. You're out.
But could you get another one?
I think
To sit
now,
somewhere
10
else.
o'clock this morning, I can still buy the ticket if someone hasn't bought it. What's a 7-hour window for a game in 3
But
weeks' time?
What's what's the conspiracy theory? As in, they don't make any more money from that, do they?
They've got obviously they've got different option. They've got different.
As in, it's 30 quid for everyone
sorry,
whenever
that-
you buy it.
Yeah, of
Right,
course,
so-
of course. But a
Plus the
7-hour,
administration fee, which really annoyed me.
£1.75 booking fee for a computer to send you an email.
Yeah, it was
And
ridiculous.
they've got different windows for different things. They've got to move people from the north stand because Villa are going to bring 9,000. But can we have longer than 7 hours to buy a season ticket?
Please.
Seats.
Please.
Vinay, because I know you're
Some
listening.
people would argue 7 hours is way too long.
Other bits of club news, no game for the 21s. The under-18s went out in the Youth Cup to Brighton. Spurs don't touch the sides in that competition, which is quite painful. The women, 1 up at Man United. Still haven't beaten Man United because they lost 2-1.
They were 3 up the other day and drew 3 up.
3 up and drew 3-0. 1 up and lost 2-1. That was in the League Cup quarter-final. But they're giving those games a go now, when previously that they wouldn't. Upstairs, more talk of change. Not here. We are on the top floor here. Talk of Paratici going and Carlos Rafael Mawson
Very
coming
strange.
in from City.
Very strange that, because Paratici, of course, only signed, a full-time role. What was it 6-7 weeks ago? Talking about
6-7.
Yeah, 6-7. Talking about how happy he was to be here. I think there's more to that story that we will never actually know. I sort of suspect that he is advocating for a change in the coaching staff, and they're not going for that. And he's realised that without his mate Levy there, he doesn't have the influence and sway that he did previously.
Surely he'd have known that when he joined.
Yeah, but I think he would have still felt he may have had a voice, and perhaps he's realised that he doesn't, because he's looking at. I listen. It's all conjecture. I don't know. So let's move on.
You don't just think he's Levy's. I know he came in. Did he come in after Levy
He
had gone?
did come in after Levy had gone.
Officially,
Yeah.
officially, yes.
But
So-
you suspect it was done before that. You suspect it was all lined up and approved and
So
whatever.
The talk of him going to Fiorentina, who are the Spursiest of Spursy, now we can say that that they've not that we've won something. I think they've lost the last 2 Conference League finals, maybe even 3. They are the Spursiest team in football. So good luck. And Van der Ven's interview, which I have to admit I've not seen it all. I've seen bits and pieces. You've watched it all. Quick summary.
I think we'll touch on some points of it as we go through the game, in fact. But it was one of those where you were sort of a bit nervous. Was this going to be another Harry Kane on the golf course with Gary Neville? It wasn't that, in fairness. I would say Van der Ven comes across extremely well. His dad comes across very, very well as well. You can see the mentality.
Oh, but admit, no one trusts the dad, do they?
Huh?
No one trusts the dad, do they?
If he's his agent.
Yeah, the dad's watching. Dad's always watching. Where are we going next?
I did find it sort of a little strange that the dad was sitting there the whole way through, sort of almost like you better ask him the right questions.
Oh, he's managing his career.
But look,
managing him.
But Mickey van der Ven came across very well. So there were some telling quotes about Ange, about Frank, and certain other things, which I guess we'll probably cover as we go through this, because it all pertains. A lot of it pertains to actually the Liverpool game, in my view.
You want to talk about the Liverpool game?
Not really.
I think most of what Van der Ven said, though, I don't think it was as gotcha as some people are suggesting, particularly on Ange. I think the way I saw it was Ange spoke to him and Romero not because the players wouldn't listen to Ange, but more because they were the voices in the team.
Well, in fact, Romero and Van der Ven, as Van der Ven puts it, went to Ange. Yeah. And said, I mean, there were a few key telling things if we're going to, there were a few key telling things if we're going to get into it now. And they were that, Neville asked, he said there was a discernible change in the way that you played, and Van der Ven went into it and said, what made me laugh was he used the exact words that you'd used from almost day one under Ange. You would have been quite proud of it. And he said one of the problems that we had under Ange was there was no plan B. There was only one way. And it was that way or no way, effectively. And, and what you did say, he said he loved the principle. He loved the idea. I
think we all loved the idea.
He loved the philosophy of it.
Yeah.
And he loved playing under Ange for those reasons. But the gotchas, or if you don't see them as that, it was him and Romero who took it upon themselves to go to Ange and say, there needs to be something else. We have to see games out. We have to play a different way. And Ange said, well, fine, you can go and communicate that to the team and you can lead and drive that. And
did it sound then Ange just became a cheerleader and gave great Churchillian speeches?
It did. It almost did. And then Van der Ven sort of backtracked and said, obviously Ange spoke to the players about it in the meetings, but it was us who went to him, and it was our responsibility on the pitch to direct the players as to how they were going to play. And I don't know, I haven't looked at this, but the thought just occurs to me as to maybe that's when you start seeing the half-time huddles, on the pitch and so on. But they started leading it. The other thing that was interesting was there was the sort of juxtaposition between he loved the way that Ange plays and he loves the philosophy, but he didn't enjoy, and he said very clearly he did not enjoy being as exposed as he was. He did not enjoy having to chase back as many times a game as he did. So as much as he loved the principle, as a defender, it was almost like, I love this guy and I love what he's trying to do, but it's not great for me.
Well, we could see that.
He did admit that.
That was kind of the underlying message. And then the third thing that was interesting as we're getting into it now is, this talk about, a lot of people have said, and a lot of people who are Ange supporters shoot it down and say, you don't know that. A lot of people have said that injuries were a consequence of the way that Ange is demanding that they play. Now, the fact that Gary Neville outright asked that question as a former professional suggests that professionals themselves look at it and go, that can't be right. That's too much. And he asked the question and said it did start to go wrong when the injuries really started coming in. Were the injuries a result of the way that Ange was asking you to play and train? And Van der Ven didn't directly say yes. He said the problem was, he said from minute 1 to minute 90, 3 times a week, the intensity and the strain that you put on your body was, I'm paraphrasing here, so don't come at me, right? I'm paraphrasing. He said, but 3 times a week, and there was no different way of playing, and we were expected to play the same way the whole time, and the strain on the body is too much. So he didn't directly say yes, But he also said it was too much.
Well, they don't
right?
they don't run
So-
fast now anyway.
So there
that'd be
were a
fine.
few telling things about Ange. On the flip side to that, he very much has very high regard and respect for Ange and wishes, very clearly wishes, that it could have worked and that there could have been a bit more adaptation and maybe evolvement and evolution so that it could have worked. And it was in stark contrast how he spoke about Ange to how I felt he spoke about Frank.
Okay, well, we'll come to that.
Yeah.
Before I go on to Liverpool, at Ray Dark, surprised this pod hasn't got more traction. Advertise more, fellas. This is a good pod. It's more
Thank
than
you,
a good
Ray.
pod, but thank you, Ray.
Checks in the post.
Like, subscribe, hype, as Adam Nathan says. You can do that. Swipe right on the comments. Our producer James is pressing buttons and doing stuff with cameras. Yeah, just tell your friends, your enemies, your family, who might be your enemies. I don't know. Just tell everyone. We've had a good week. We had a Carragher on, and that's gone down really well. But thank you for the support, and thank you for everyone in the comments as always. But we've got to do it. Thoughts now turn to Saturday's game against Liverpool. The lineup was thus: Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Spence. Bentancur and Gray in front. Opta have put it down as a 4-2-2-2. I'm not sure. Kudus on the right, Siemens in the 10 for half an hour, and obvious left winger Lucas Bergvall and Randall Kolo-Muani up front. First thing that stuck out for me was I thought that Siemens was going to play left, but then it became very clear that Berryval or Bival was going to be on the left, and we've been calling, or we asked last week, any chance Kolo-Muani can play up front? Well, if you're going to play Kolo-Muani up front, please pick a left winger. If you're not going to play Kolo-Muani up front, probably pick him on the left wing. We admire Frank, maybe, or we were told Frank's adaptability was a positive. That's fine. Lopsided again. That was my initial thought.
Yeah, that was the initial thought. I don't know if it actually turned out that way, but when you're looking at it, you're going, what on earth is going on here?
Well, Bergvall's just not a left winger, and neither is Seaman, so he didn't pick one. And I know that the options are not great out there. Tell, Odobert, Kolo-Muani, those are your options.
Richarlison.
Better than Bergvall on the left.
I aside from the formation or the setup with whoever's out on the left, I was just disappointed that Richarlison wasn't starting. Just because whatever anybody says about him, and I don't rate him massively highly, if someone's on form, just pick him. Because whether you think they've got it or they haven't got it, or you know that he could miss a sitter or do something ridiculously bad, he's just on form. So it's not, I don't see why it has to be more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Just pick the players that are on form. And if someone's on form scoring goals, just pick him.
Gaz?
I liked the 11 players on the pitch.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way they were lined up. And I think the messaging of putting Bergvall on the left is so bad in so many ways. In so many ways. The messaging from Frank to the team and to the other options is actually horrendous. And you touched on the fact that he's an adaptable manager, and one of the good things when he came in was that he was going to coach from game to game and use different systems game to game. And he tried this against Chelsea at home with Bergvall on the left as well. And Bergvall went off after about 2 minutes with concussion, so we didn't really get to see what the output was from that. But let's just break down what the actual messaging is of putting Bergvall on the left, right? You've got no fewer than 7 options of players that have played in their career on the left. I'll go through them because people won't believe that there's 7 options. You may not like these options, but think about the fact that as one of these options, you're being overlooked, right? In some ways, there's 7 options. 2 of them aren't overlooked. 5 of them certainly are. But I'll come back to the messaging behind it. Tell, boy can't get a kick. Comes on against Newcastle, changes the tempo of the game, we get back in the game. Did a great job against United when he came on. Changed the tempo of that game. 1-0 down, he comes on with 2-1 up. Did a great job at Leeds. You might not like him. I don't care if you don't like him. But the treatment of Tell is diabolical. Odobert started the season, had a run at left wing. Didn't do much great, didn't do much bad. Now he can't get in the team, right? So them 2 alone, that is dreadful management, in my view, to be in a home game and turning around to your 2 recognised left wingers, really, and saying, no, I'm going to stick a central midfielder in there instead, right? So them 2. Richarlison, as you mentioned, does a great job on the left when he plays there. I get we want to see Kolo Muani up front. That was the right thing. Richarlison did brilliant on the left at the end of last season under Ange. He did brilliant on the left for Everton. He can play on the left. And if your argument is, as Frank, I wanted Bergvall on the left for that bit of physicality. I think they're dangerous down the right. You know, I want that work rate and that power. Well, get Richarlison then.
They're not dangerous down the right.
They're not dangerous down the right. No, they're not. And in fact, one of their weakest positions is on the right.
There's no Salah, there's no Trent,
and in fact,
Bradley's playing.
And in fact, you can get down at them on the right. So why are you playing Bergvall down there?
Yeah.
You've got Richarlison, option number 3. Muani, option number 4. Simons you can put left. Kudos you could put left, and you could put Johnson right. Or you could play Johnson left, who's banged in a couple of nice crosses on there. 7 options. But you choose a central midfielder. And what's the messaging to them 7 players, and what's the messaging to the team? The messaging to the team is, I'm not interested in how we go to beat them. I'm interested in how we stop them. It is fucking appalling. From the minute you see that, it is appalling all round.
Yeah.
And actually, Tell should be banging on his office door this morning, going, bugger to you. Sorry, Daniel.
Yeah, my son's in the other room. He's heard it all before. He comes to Spurs.
Daniel press the beat button.
You know, if Tell went into his office this morning and demanded a transfer, he'd be well within his rights, right? Like, it is absolutely... Well, I'd love to know the tactical reason for putting Bergvall left.
I said at the top of this segment, we were, Frank's famed for his adaptability. Any respect to that?
You're at home
Yeah,
against
I know.
a suffering
I'm playing
bad Liverpool
devil's
team.
advocate.
And as you've already picked out, they haven't got Salah. They haven't got Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? They don't create much down the right. They also, one of their weaks, but you watch Liverpool, a lot of what they concede comes from their right-hand side. And we've gone, you know what? We won't bother attacking their right-hand side. We'll make it so easy. People say Kudus didn't have a great game. They're looking at Bergvall on the left and going, we don't really need to worry about the left-hand side. We'll just pack it out here, stop Kudus, and you stop Tottenham. It's just mind-blowingly bad.
There were times in that game. Kudus had a weird game, which we'll come to, but even 11v11, Kudus was getting the ball, and he had 3, often he's surrounded by 2 players. Liverpool trebled up on him at times.
Yeah, because they could.
Because they could.
Because there was no width on the left.
Yeah.
Because Frank went, I'm so worried about Kirkes.
But you can almost sometimes understand it if you've got Udogie, who's a natural left-sided player. Spence, who, by the way, was excellent.
He was.
He's your right-footed left-back, and he did get up in advance of Bergvall, but you're still natural. You've got no natural left-hand side out.
You've got nothing going out the
do
outside.
you
You've got
think-
no cross coming in from the left. Like, it is. I
not-
say, I want to
not
go
in-
back to the
not in-
messaging. And the messaging is going to be, a consistent message of mine throughout this, because there's other things that are messaging in the team that give us clear insights as to what is going wrong, in my view. But Bergvall on the left against this Liverpool team, who were atrocious, by the way, they are a mess, Liverpool, right? And we went, we're not going to give you anything to worry about.
Jake?
Well, I was going to say, do you think that the team he picked against Forest, which is the team that I would have just gone with again, at least in the front 4 of Kudus, Simons, Kolo Muani, and then Richarlison through the middle, do you think he felt a bit burnt by that? Because I think that's the best option. Although I would like to see Kolo Muani play through the middle, and I thought he was really good through the middle, and he offers us something. I think as a front 4, the best option at this point is to have
That's
Muani
what I'm
on the
saying,
left.
Jake. If you're
But
going
do you think the Forest... Because I don't agree with you. I agree with your point about there should be plenty of players ahead of Bergvall to play on the left. But I do think Odegaard was given a reasonable crack. And as you said, he didn't do much good, he didn't do much bad. But, okay, Tell I agree with. But I just think the best front 4 we have on the way that we've been playing is the one that played against Forest.
I could have.
And I wonder if he
disagree.
felt burnt by that.
I mean, listen. I don't think he's got a clue, and I think at the moment he's chucking players in, going, "Let's see what works." Well, none of it's going to work. None of it's going to work because you're not coaching these players to pass between the lines. You're not coaching them to move off the ball. You're not coaching them to play with any kind of intensity. You're not coaching them to go and hurt teams, and you can see it. So I don't think it really matters who plays against Forest. I could have understood this lineup. If Simons had even started on the left, I wouldn't have agreed with that either, by the way. But if he'd have started Simons on the left and Bergvall in the middle, which still I don't think Bergvall was a 10 at all, by the way, right? I could have at least gone, all right, fine. At
He's
least
played
Simons
there.
plays there, right?
Yeah.
You know, he gives their fullback something to worry about a little bit more than Bergvall.
You're still asking why isn't Simons playing through the middle
Right,
and just
of
a
course
winger
you
on
are,
the
right?
left?
But it's wrong. It's just wrong, right? And it's not fair on Bergvall either, by the way. And anybody that watches this pod will know that I'm a big advocate of Bergvall. I think he's a tremendous player and he's going to be a superstar. I really do. But you're being unfair to the kid as well.
Guys,
I
David
still
Clark.
wonder how he fits into our side though.
Who?
Bergvall.
Well, it's not a
okay,
wonder at all.
David
where,
Cl-
where would he play?
We'll come to that because we're going to have to because
Yeah.
with the suspensions. But David Clark says, tell me what player who's played on the left has delivered good balls into the box. The answer is none. At this point, I want to talk about, you're talking like we have top players on the bench.
No, hang on, David, let me pick up on that, right? I said at
Can I
the
pick
top,
up on
you
it
may not
first?
like the options. You may not like any of those 7 options, but at least they've all played on the left.
Well, that's the point. And that's my point why I said that if Colin Wine is going to play down the middle, play someone on the left because you've got to have balance. There's no balance. I don't watch many other teams and go, what? Why is there a big, why are they not playing a winger? Why?
Well,
it's so
Liverpool didn't.
lopsided.
Soboslai isn't really a winger.
They sort of played a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, okay.
So, but he wouldn't have known that.
I mean, they're pretty hamstrung, Liverpool, with their squad at the moment. We are not blessed with talent as in that position, as Dave says, but there are options out there.
Well, what's a shame is that for the first half an hour until the red,
The game was pretty dead.
the game was dead.
Yeah. If that game
Which I would take. I know we're at home,
Yeah,
but I sort of think
well.
against Liverpool, you're like, well, let's keep them quiet for the first.
Well, I want
half
to talk
hour.
about that, Jake, because I'm kind of obsessed with Newcastle at the moment. Not because they're
Why?
any good. Well, because if we're going to be a middling football team, I'd like to be a middling football team like Newcastle, where you
Which part of Newcastle?
well, you
are
go
you
to a
obsessed
game
with?
and you'll know you're going to get energy and fight and forward thrust. I think they've scored
Shirts off,
shirts off, beer bellies out. I want a
bellies
bit of
out.
that.
stripes.
They've scored 8 goals in the first 5 minutes since the start of last season. Mostly at home. They're very up and at 'em at home. We pay a lot of money. We're not up and at 'em at all. It's incredibly dull going to Spurs. And during the game, I said early on, the first 15 minutes, Newcastle's energy was incredible. And I know they were 2 up and they didn't win. If we played like that every week at home, what are you laughing at?
Your son.
And my son in the other room, yes, he's on the messages now. If we played like that at home, I'd be clapping them off instead of booing them off. I know they didn't win. Is Jacob Murphy better than Mohamed Kudus? No. Look, I'd love to have Harvey Barnes on the left. Newcastle have got a very good midfield and they've got an engine room, which we don't. But I just want to see some energy. So you talk about it was okay for the first half an hour. Liverpool are on a decent run. They've picked up their 5 unbeaten. But they're
Would
hurting.
have been a great opportunity to whack them.
Just go
First-
at them.
Yeah.
Go and talk about how the atmosphere was dead again. Yes, because we're so fed up. We don't
But
trust you.
As I've said many times on the few occasions I've been on this season, the bit that I don't understand is that he did that at home for Brentford.
I think we get
But he just
tied
did.
in knots about Brentford.
No,
I think
no, but
they
I'm
sat in a lot at Brentford and caught
But they
teams
would
on the
start.
counter.
They would often start far. Yeah, but we don't do that.
No.
That's the bit that it escapes me, is that he's not doing, we are not playing even the good bits of what Brentford, I know the general point about Brentford, but even the things they did well, he hasn't managed to instill
Right, so-
into
okay.
our players.
So playing
when we have better
devil's
players.
advocate again, Jet, devil's advocate again, it takes time. When we talk about time,
Yeah.
I think 26 games is more than enough and we're not seeing it. He may sit here and say, it's going to take me time. Just wait. It took me 3 years at Brentford. And he's probably going to get money in January. And who knows what we're gonna sign. But
Who's going to turn up?
oh yeah, but okay, you've talked about time. We talk about in our WhatsApp group and we go backwards and forwards. 15 games I'm going, it's enough. 20 games I'm going, it's enough. And you're going, give him time. 26 games, you now saying you'd want to see the best bits of Brentford.
No, I've said this from a while ago. I agree. I'll stick by the time point, but I still don't understand at this point how he hasn't managed to translate any of the or some of the good bits from Brentford, because he's wanted for us to be a defend first team, tighten things up at the back, basically because we couldn't defend or didn't defend last season.
Right, let me tell
So
you
he's
the
gone
most
with that
damning
first.
thing. But
the bit I don't
but
understand
if that
is
is
how
correct, if
the
that
other
is
end.
correct, how is it possible? And I'm not advocating for Ange in any way here, because I stuck with Ange for so long because I loved what he was trying to achieve and do. I was with him for 18 months, but it becomes clear it wasn't working. But here's the thing. He did have a mitigation last season. He played a lot of last season with centre-backs of Gray and Davies. Now, I think he still should have found another way, as I said many, many times. But he had Gray and Davies at centre-back. This guy has had Romero and Van der Ven in all but maybe 1 or 2 games of this season and has conceded more goals and created less. He's conceded more, scored less, and created less. So you're telling me he's working on defence first.
Well, no,
Where
I
is
said
the
that's-
defence of him
that's
when
the-
he has got his first choice defence most of this season and he's conceding more than Ange?
Yeah. No, I said that's meant to be the idea. I didn't,
Gaz, you said to me on the phone yesterday,
Oh, you called Gaz?
He actually called me.
He didn't call me.
Must have butt dialed, but we went for it. I'm sure it was you that said this to me yesterday. You don't know how this Spurs team set up
Correct.
to win. Mourinho. Well, go on, you tell me what you said.
I said to you, I will get behind a manager,
Yeah.
right? I might not even like how they're playing. I might disagree with it. I disagreed with what Mourinho was trying to do. But I could see what he was trying to do. I could see what we were trying to be, right? Conte, I could definitely see what he was trying to do and what we were trying to be. So I was happy to support him until he went mental, right? You know, Ange could see what... Nuno never had a... No, right?
No.
Yeah, Ange could definitely see what he was trying to do, and I'll always get behind it because that needs time. It needs time to grow a philosophy and for the team to understand. And this brings me on to a point. It takes time for the team to understand what the manager's trying to do, right? So in that regard, I'll always give a manager time. That's why I gave Ange so much time. I could not tell you what this guy's trying to do.
That's it.
I have no clue what this guy's trying to do. And the minute you're playing Bergvall left wing, it's like, well, how does that translate to any future thing? What does that look like going forwards? Doesn't look like anything. So how can I get behind this guy? Like I said to you just now, he has conceded more than Ange with a better defence, bored us to tears with the football that he's playing, and isn't creating anything. And behind it all, I'm sat there going, where's he going with this? I don't know. I just don't know where he's going with this.
Is that conceded more in the Premier League after the first 17 games?
We are
or-
conceding a higher rate of goals at this
Right, per
moment, at
game.
this stage of the season, than we did last season. And we scored less.
What's your question, Jake? So we've conceded 23 after 17 this season. What was your question?
Well, and it was less after 17 last season. Is that what Gary? Is that the metric that you're using, or over Ange's whole tenure? Goals
At
per
this
game.
stage of last season,
Okay.
we have conceded more goals than we did.
It's actually the same, but it feels like more.
Yeah.
But you know, he's had
Yeah,
Van de Ven and Romero.
Correct.
And people might say, oh yeah, but we're missing Solanke, we're missing Maddison, we're missing Kulusevski. Wank about. He's got Kolomoani, he's got Kudos, he's got Simons. Right? Are you telling me that there's any mitigation for this guy at the moment? And I just and that's the point. I just can't see. And I think this feeds into, you know, the point I was going to go on to make there was, I think you give a manager time when you can see a philosophy, when you can see what they're driving at. I think when you can't see that, it becomes very difficult to buy into. And I think the players come onto the pitch and you can almost sense it with them. I think they come onto the pitch and they're like, we actually don't know how we're going to win today. We absolutely know how we can lose, but we don't know how we're going to win. And that to me is translated into mistakes will always happen. They'll always happen. But as a team becomes more and more familiar with the way in which they're playing, how they're set up, you know, the movements that they're each making, mistakes reduce and reduce because you can rely on your mate to be there. You know, in this position, this is how I'm going to play out. You look at this team, we are top of the table for mistakes made leading to shots on goal.
21 this season.
21, right? That says to me we have a team that isn't coherent. It's not in sync with anyone, with anyone, right? And that comes directly from a team that doesn't know how they're playing, doesn't know what the system is.
Gaz, he still doesn't know his best team. People on the comments talking about, he tried Palini and Bentancur, then he dropped them. Listen, it's not the 80s where you're going to play the same team every week, but he definitely doesn't know his best team. And actually, you mentioned the injuries. The injuries are much fewer than they were under Ange and last season. He doesn't know his
A
best
bit
team.
like the Forest game. Wasn't Saturday a game for Palhinha?
In the car on the
Gray.
way up, I
you know what?
was surprised he didn't play
And Gray,
Palhinha.
Gray, yeah,
Yeah.
But because whatever you
We
say
didn't
about
lose the game though because Palhinha didn't play.
You know,
well, are we going to come on to that?
But Jake,
I think we lost the game. I
We
think
had 10 men.
yeah,
Players
because we were
always-
comfortable. Not that we would but we weren't untroubled at
No, they
after
were doing
29 minutes.
nothing, Liverpool.
And once you're playing 11 against
Well,
10.
I want to talk about the red card.
Yeah,
now.
11 against 10.
Let's talk about that red card. As soon as it happened, it was right on the other side of the pitch to me. John Brooks, who we'll come to again, I've got to be careful. Look, these refs now are giving yellow so that someone at Stockley can let them know whether it's right or wrong. It looked like nothing from where I was. You're on that side, and you said what I thought that Siemens had slipped.
I thought it slipped initially.
But it doesn't look actually like he slipped
No.
when you watch the footage.
Yeah.
It's by the letter of the law is probably a red card, but you go on social media and you can find 5 to 10 images from Spurs that it's happened to where players haven't been sent off. We've had Van Dijk against Solanke. All right, different side of the foot, but you had, is it Caicedo or Enzo on Bentancur? All we asked for, really...
Diego Jota got us a soul kicking
Ollie Skip.
Ollie Skip in the head.
It's consistency. If we went, oh, that's always a red, it's a red, you'd go, yeah, all right. But you keep seeing this not being a red. I'm not quite sure what Siemens was up to. Was it an accident or was he trying to foul him?
I think I didn't think that he meant to do him. I mean, come on, they're Dutch teammates. They must know each other well. I think it was just a lazy, just sticking your foot out, and he's caught him. Doesn't necessarily make it not a red, but in terms of what he's thinking, I think he was just being lazy, just leaving a foot there, and he's got done basically.
I'll go the other way. I don't think he was being lazy. I think he had made a couple of errors, a couple of loose balls, a couple of miscontrols. I think he was frustrated at himself. That's not to say I think he kicked out. I don't think he did. I think he was trying too hard to make amends and win it back.
But he was so late.
The ball wasn't even close to
that's
the
what
ball.
That's what I mean.
But you know, I think Van Dijk's made a slight change in direction. I think he's just stretched, and I think he was just over eager. But the issue is, you know, to the letter of the law, it's a red card. But this is where there's a problem with the officiating, is you have to look at intent. And was there intent there? Absolutely none. Like, I mean, I've seen Van Dijk do things with actual intent, and you can see
They
that.
don't have to look at it. Dangerous foul's a dangerous foul, even if you didn't mean to hurt them.
Endangering an opponent doesn't have to have intent.
I get that, but then you're just, you know, I just think you're ruining the game of football. I really do. I don't think Simons intended it. I don't think there was malice in it. I don't think there was intent in it. To the letter of the law, it's a red card. I just don't think you want to see that given as a red as a football fan.
I don't disagree with that.
The law is an ass.
What I don't like, and I would agree with Frank here, is for me, that's not 3 games. I don't think you should miss nearly 10% of this league
that's a fair
season.
shout.
That could be 2, or do like they do in FIFA and UEFA tournaments. You get your 1 and they look at it and they go, all right, you can have 2 for that.
I think that would be more sensible.
You go around and smash someone or...
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That's the same as a really serious foul, and I think that should be... The only 2 is foul and abusive language. Why aren't we getting 2-game suspensions for things?
Yeah.
That's a 2 for me.
And also the other thing that I think pissed me off so much, and I think all of us, the feeling was that it's probably a red, but also like, Simons, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, it's not one of those ones where you go, well, the player's done nothing wrong and he's got a red card. You're sort of like, come on.
I think it's a red in today's game. I
And
don't
also the
think in terms of football and England
Yeah,
played
that's
football,
fine.
it's a red card.
But also
right?
it was the situation. You're only half an hour in.
But we were
against
already
Liverpool.
riled by John Brooks. Was the Spence,
You know-
was the Spence foul in the box already at that point? He'd been very niggly and we had nothing off him.
There were... how do I approach this? I have seldom heard the chant in the last 10, 15 years. I used to love it when I was a kid, right? It was one of the... You used to go
Get
to
ready
football.
with the beep.
You used to go to
That
football and
was
it'd be like...
Scouser, wasn't it? It wasn't the W word.
Oh, right.
No. It was...
Well, because I heard who's the Scouser.
No. I'll tell you, right? I won't say the word, but I used to enjoy going to football, and you'd be like, "What minute are they going to chant?" You know, when you were a kid, you're like, "Oh, I get to say that naughty word," right? You know, and I get to have a go at the ref. You seldom hear this chant now, but after 20 minutes, it was really quite loud. The referee's somebody who self-pleasures himself.
So
You hear it more in the EFL still, to be fair.
You know, and that
Guys,
was
the first time I ever heard that word was at Spurs, and
me too.
I was 7 or 8, and the bloke behind me, Michael, who still sits behind my dad, I went, "What does that word mean?" And my dad was like, "Oh," and Michael leapt forward and basically said what you said.
And showed you.
I haven't seen him since. I say,
So the point I'm making is, for that chant, which is seldom heard these days, to be quite vociferously sung after 20 minutes, there was a feeling from the get-go, and I don't think, you know, this feeds into the Xavi thing, but it does feed into a lot of other things that happen in the game. There have been 3 or 4 decisions that had gone against us, and you're like, what on
well, you had
earth?
the Kudus foul was never a foul.
The Kudus foul, you know, the Spence going into the box, and he was desperate to give them a free kick because suddenly we were in a very dangerous position.
Yeah.
But you know, this fed through to a number of things. I think there was a handball that wasn't given. You know, there were a number of things, and I was in the stands like, I've never seen a refereeing performance this
It's,
bad.
as you said, Gaz, it's been a long time since
And it did
20,000 plus people shouting at the ref.
it did feel as though I don't know what, like, Liverpool have had some terrible decisions come into our place. It did feel as though there was a bit of let's make sure that Liverpool don't get a bad decision today. But what ended up happening was that they got every decision, every minor decision they could have got, they got, and the crowd were very riled by it. And then, of course, you get that sending off, which is one of those that looks so innocent to everybody in the ground.
Yeah.
And then you look at it after, you're like, oh, okay, technically a red
Yeah.
card, but it's not football, that is it?
Jake,
And well, the ref hasn't given it, so that decision.
what, the Simons?
Yeah.
And
well, they let them.
And the whole
decide.
thing-
Yeah, but
Bizarre.
as in he's put not. I'm not trying to defend him, but I'm just saying that he gave a yellow for that.
the-
Did
the
he give
whole-
a yellow? Or
Yeah.
did he give nothing?
Yellow.
The whole facade of the ref going over to the screens, like, just
Yeah.
get rid of it. Like, honestly, just,
Yeah.
like, oh, we do that so that, you know, it is ultimately the ref's decision. We don't want to take power away from it. Well, come on, just, you're wasting time in the game. You just are.
Just tell us. If it's a red, just tell us.
If VAR think it's a red, he's not going to go against his mates, is he? Like,
tell us.
you know, just say it and get on with the game.
Yeah, we don't.
There's
we
a-
don't
wait, how
we
many
don't
times,
care.
is there a stat on it? How many times has a decision been overturned when there's
very
ref against
few.
the screen?
Fewer than 10.
Fewer than
possibly
10.
fewer than 5.
Out of hundreds now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a facade.
Yeah. So we get to half time. Nothing really happens. Liverpool poor, really poor. I can't think of any chances that they really created at 0-0.
I can.
You can.
I can think of one.
Oh, from the throw on.
And this goes back.
Let's talk about
this
that
goes
throw
back
on.
to the messaging. I've got 2 incidents in the first half that I want to complain about because
Go on
people
then.
go, "Oh, the first 30 minutes." Yeah, we were in a game in the first 30 minutes against a fucking awful Liverpool side. They were dreadful. They had nothing, absolutely nothing. And we were in a game. We didn't do anything, but actually we were on top, and the crowd was behind them, and we did have a bit of momentum. And I'm going to go back to the messaging of what I'm saying about why I'm now virulently against Frank, and I really am, because a couple of things happened when you're on top of the game. They had the ball out on their right-hand side, and I think they wafted a cross over, and it was going nowhere. Porro watched it go over his head, and he follows it as it trickles. It trickles out of play for a goal kick.
This
right?
is at 0-0 first half.
0-0 in the first sort of 20 minutes, and we'd just been in there half for a period of time as well.
Wow.
Trickles out of play, and I'm watching. I'm like, you could have like just taken it and driven upfield, and you love a hoof, so you know, just get it back down there and get it right back into their territory, and let's go again. But okay, fine. He watched it trickle out of play. Now you're going to go and pick it up and chuck it back to Vicario and get the ball back in play. No, he ambles off. Like, ball boy looked at him like, really, mate? Like, ambles off. The ball boy goes over, gently rolls it back to Vicario, who takes it over to the left-hand side of the box, or the other side. Piddles about, fannies about for about 20, 30 seconds. What am I going to do with this? Passes it out, I think, to Van de Ven. They press us. We get under a bit of trouble here that we've invited onto ourselves. Goes back to Vicario, gets it out his feet, and booms it right out of play on the right-hand side over Porro's head. And I looked at that passage of play, right, in which Liverpool did not touch the ball once when we'd been on top. And we took about a minute and a half to 2 minutes
give
out
them
of the game
possession
to
back.
give them possession back halfway inside our half.
This is why I talk about
like rugby,
Newcastle,
right?
Newcastle and Villa's energy and other teams'
That's
energy.
what
We
I mean.
don't have any.
But this has to be the message from
Yeah,
Frank.
Of course, but talk about
Right?
that throw on. Which
There's
is
there's no momentum. There's no tempo.
we got a throw on right in front of me, and I know you want to talk about that. Right in front of me in the first half, our left back position early on in the game. Spence was looking to throw it back to Van de Ven, who's not standing next to our corner flag. Ultimately, probably for Van de Ven to half volley it up the pitch. Not at one point did Spence turn the other way. Sunday league stuff, throw it down the line. What do you used to say? Work the line, lads.
Right alone. Line it.
Like, has football gone that far? But you saw that from the other side of the pitch.
I was keen. I was sat with a mate, and when that ball went out for that throw and down in front of the West Lower, the southwest corner, right? When that ball went out, I turned around to my mate before Spencer even picked it up. I said, "We're in trouble here." I said, "You watch this. This is big trouble for us." He went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Just watch." And I asked you to message my mate when you brought up that throw, because it's so easy to sit here and people go, "No, you didn't say that," or whatever. I asked you to message him, right? And I don't know, what did he say to you? I said,
It's what you just said. We're in trouble,
right?
here.
He said, "Gaz, it's our throw." I promise you, we threw it in play, and within 4 seconds, Liverpool had a shot on goal. Their only shot in the first half. We had no clue how to get out. And I get that it happens, right? You know, you can have a throw deep in your half, and I'm always saying to our players, box them in, press, you know. And I get, you know, you're playing at a professional level, and it get you bad touch, whatever. But it's so bad that I knew that this was danger to us
Gaz,
from our throw. How bad is that? What does that tell you about where we are as a
6
team?
weeks ago, you talk about, you say these things, there's no proof. About 6 weeks ago, I said on this pod, totally sort of apropos of nothing. We really crap from our own throws now. It's become quite
dreadful.
noticeable.
Yeah, and I thought that was something that we'd be getting better at. We're getting slightly better at the long ones.
It sounds
but,
basic. It's just a throw. Why are you talking about it? But no, it's part of a system.
I mean,
the throws and the goal. Whenever we got a throw and a goal kick, it feels like, here we go.
Yes.
Well, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because unless they hoof it long and we don't win that many headers,
No.
and we play it short, and if we're in we've got a throw in inside our own third, or third to our goal line, or a goal kick. You've got teams just knowing that they can press us
Absolutely.
and they're going to cause us problems because Vicario is not that great with his feet.
Did you play Sabutio?
Yeah.
Remember that
I'm not-
line?
I'm not that-
There was
I'm
a
not that
line
young.
outside the penalty area, and I can't remember. You couldn't score. You had to score inside that line.
Yeah, inside the line.
If we play inside that Sabutio
That's
line,
our third,
we're
yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I
We
mean.
are in trouble.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Somebody's put here, Jay Crockett 80's put, I'm loving this Frank kicking. Well, you get what you deserve. And I would challenge anybody, anywhere, at any level of the game, any level of punditry, any professional, to come and say to any of us, why should Frank be defended at this moment?
Time is the only thing.
No.
The squad's rubbish.
No,
That's
no.
what people say. Squad's rubbish. Give him
it's
time.
like, but I go back to it. If somebody says time for what? To build what? What have you seen that he's creating or doing? What have you seen on the pitch? You see Porro ambling about, watching the ball go out when we're on top of the game. You see us deep in our own half taking a throw on, and our fans going, well, we're in trouble here. How is that right? How can that be right? You see Bergvall playing left wing, a central midfielder playing left wing, right? When you've got 7 other options. What are you building? What are you creating? It's pathetic.
Jake Sanders says Clock FC are back again.
Well, that's because he said no one talks about time more than Spurs fans. So he's changed our name to Clock FC.
Very good.
All right, it's the Christian Romero 5 minutes because we're down to 10. Nothing's happening. I turned to the lady sat next to me. I said, "These are other than Leicester, the worst champions I've ever seen. I know they've got issues and Salah and Jota and all that sort of
What
stuff.
about Chelsea? The year Leicester won it, they were bad champions.
This Liverpool team?
When
seem-
Mourinho got fired.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they finished low, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right, but just roll with me on this.
It happens.
And then we actually just started to build a little bit of momentum. It went out to Kudus.
Bear in mind, with 10 men.
Yeah, but it went out to Kudus, and we're just before we'd all screamed to him to make an off-the-ball run, which he refused to do. He got the ball, and he sort of went. And we're like, "What are you doing?" And someone overlapped him or whatever. He could have played for. I think Colin Mawani made a run.
Yep.
Didn't play him in. Played it square
Why?
because they'd been told at half-time to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Clearly, yeah.
Don't take risks.
Don't take risks. Draw this 0-0 or get to 80 and maybe we'll try and nick it.
Colin Moani made a lovely run down the wing, and it was an easy ball to play him in and get Colin Moani stretching his legs.
Yeah, and then I don't think it was immediately square, but it found its way to Romero, and he plays the 21st error of the season, leading to a shot. It leads to a goal. We've now conceded 6 goals from errors. Only Wolves, who are going down with 2 points, I wonder where they got one of those, have conceded more goals from errors this season. They're going to be the worst Premier League team of all time.
I think we do well to get a point with the last kick of the game against them.
Yeah. And we're 1-0 down. Let's talk about Christian Romero briefly. We know he's the only one who can really progress a pass through the lines. He's our captain. I want to jump ahead to the red card because it's kind of like the next event, really. Well, it's not actually. He gets fouled for the second goal. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, we'll come to that straight away, actually, because that leads to the red card. It's a foul on him, unquestionably.
No,
for
but
the
the first
second
goal. Let's
goal.
talk about the first goal on the ball that he played,
Well,
and then go to
you
the,
live,
and then go to
listen,
the
he
second one.
takes risks. Arguably, we're talking about taking risks. It's a stupid pass, but he's taken a risk. I don't think.
And
we need-
normally you want him to make that pass, don't you? Though
But hang on, let's just break this down. It all stems.
No one's getting a
from,
pass today.
If we're right, Kudos, right, having the run of Moani
yeah,
and not playing the pass.
done that
Why?
bit.
Why?
Oh, because we've
No,
done-
we've done that bit. But
Yeah.
I'll ask you why. Because the message is from Frank, don't take risks. So Kudos has gone, all right, I'm not taking risks. And then what have you just said?
Sorry.
And then what have you just said? Romero plays that pass. Why? Because he took a risk. So what is
Well,
the
it's
messaging?
not, but it's not really a risk for him. You
Well, it
wouldn't
kind of is. It's on his weaker foot as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Was
on his
it?
weaker Yeah, it's on
Was
his
it?
left foot. It was on his left foot that he tried to play the pass, which was actually why I was a bit underhit and a bit weak.
Okay.
Right? It was on his left foot. He's taken a risk. He's trying to play line-breaking passes when Kudos has an easy pass down the line to Moani. 20
Yeah, but
10
that's
seconds
too
before
different.
that.
But I would argue that Romero making a line-breaking pass is not really risky because it's just what he does.
And he's
It's-
from the
it's-
centre-half
it's
position.
part of his. It's
I'm not
part
having a
of what
go.
he does.
I'm not having a go at Romero.
I know what you're saying.
I'm not having a go at Romero. What I'm saying is, right?
Yeah, why is he doing it back there from Moani's not doing
no,
it
Yeah,
10
yeah.
yards
no,
further
why
forward?
is he doing it back there when Kudos
Kudus.
isn't doing it in a
Yeah.
with a much easier pass to get a player in.
with no, if he gets it wrong, so
and if he
what?
gets it wrong, fine. Like there's no risk.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is what I mean about when I said earlier, I don't think the players know what they're doing out there. I don't think there is a consistent, coherent
It's not
message.
cohesive,
Right? This is what I said. Mistakes happen when players haven't got a clue
Yeah.
what the system is and how they're meant to be playing. And this was so indicative of it.
Soul Sniper Gaming has spent most of the morning telling us we've still got a problem with Argentinians. I love Romero. I think
It's
he's
not the 80s, mate.
listen. Let's talk about 2-0. It's a foul by Ekitike. I actually had my phone buried in my head buried in my phone at that point. I was sort of given the game up. I saw the incident back when I got home. Yeah, it's a foul. Romero's response. He's a passionate player. And I do think referees have to know who's a passionate player and who's not. And obviously, Romero's reputation goes before him. Everyone will
Well,
tell
being
you.
the captain hasn't helped him because often captains get a bit of leeway with that, don't they?
Yeah, he'd been told off in the first half for getting in
He's
John
the only
Brooks's
captain
grill.
that's not allowed to talk to the ref.
Yeah, he'd been warned in the first half for getting up in his grill after the Kudus Porro foul
The Brooks
incident.
grill.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't know what he said. We don't know what he said, but I know we've got to send a message to the people. You can't shout at referees. Oh, well, fine, but I'm sorry, we're so quick to just.
But it was a foul.
No, that was a foul by
Yeah.
Ekitike. So take this. The referee has at this point has to look at the situation. A team are 2-0 down in a big game. He thinks he's been fouled. John Brooks, don't think you've been fouled. Just say to Romero, mate, just chill. I'm sorry. I'm giving a goal. I don't believe it's a foul. Go away. Just go away. Straight away, yellow card.
Couldn't wait to get it out.
Couldn't wait to get it
Couldn't
out.
wait.
But Romero, on a yellow, you're the captain. We'd got back to 2-1. He's put himself up front, or Frank's told him to go up front. We're causing a bit of chaos up there. Liverpool have gone. Not sure if they were ever there, but they'd gone. We're getting back in the game. The crowd were up and Spurs were up, and you're thinking, God, I'm enjoying this for the first time in 18 months. He gets fouled by Konate. That's a foul, but the Ekitike one isn't. Okay. He does sort of kick out.
He doesn't really kick out.
It's possibly a yellow. I think a second yellow has to really be something. Couldn't wait to send him off. But
He didn't have to give him a yellow for it, did
you're
he?
the captain. Don't give him an opportunity. And I think his reputation does go before him, but that was effing stupid. It actually didn't change the game because we actually still carried on the same way. But it changes Sunday's game because without him, he has Christmas off again. That seems to be happening quite a lot. But from the captain, he spent
be round jabbies,
he spent
will he?
most of the last 25 minutes, Romero, going in borderline. But Romero's really good when he plays on the edge. That's when you get the best Romero, when he's on the edge. And he was a controlled aggression for 25 minutes and he was winning stuff and he was leading like a captain. We're all going, oh my God, he's going to hurt him. But he didn't. It was brilliant for 25 minutes. And he was sort of driving us up the pitch as a team.
Yep.
And then he does that. Again, it didn't help. It didn't change it because we still battered them-ish for 15 minutes, whatever it was, 10 minutes. But you're the captain, mate. You're missing another game. And I thought that was really foolish.
I just felt that I kind of felt a bit sorry for him. He knows he's made a mistake to cost us that first goal. And we were more than in that game with 10 men. We were sitting a bit deeper, but we had that break on. And when you've got the likes of Kudus and Mawani, and I actually said at half-time this could be a game for Johnson because actually we're going to sit in and if you want somebody with a bit of pace in behind, like just get it into him. I actually felt that it was a game for Johnson, to be fair. I mean, if people know me, that says something. Yeah, exactly. But we were doing what we needed to do. So I think he was frustrated with himself. But there was a feeling in the ground throughout, from the very beginning, as we've discussed, that the referee came onto the pitch that day. He woke up that morning and went, "Not Tottenham," right?
Not today.
Like that, not today, Spurs. And there was that feeling because for the crowd to have turned on the ref after 20 minutes, that says that. And then here's what I'm a little confused about is I think when you see players react so vociferously, and they all got around the ref after that Ekitike, whatever, right? You know, they all got around him. And even as where I'm at, and I can't see necessarily it's a push. It didn't look It didn't look cogent.
I've got to stop you, Gaz. George Pena. Frank has broken Gary so much he's complimenting Johnson.
No. Let's be clear. I'm not complimenting Johnson. I think Johnson did very well at Forest because they sat deep and he had so much space in behind. And in my head at half time was we're going to sit deep, and this could be a game that suits his strengths, right?
Sorry, to answer Barnsley, do the 2 yellows count to his season tally? No, he doesn't get any yellows. He just gets a red.
Right. So there was this building frustration, and I think when you see players crowd a ref and protest as vociferously as they did against that goal, you're thinking to yourself, they really believe something's gone wrong here.
Yeah.
Now,
Which is this for, sorry?
The second goal.
The second. Now, VAR, it didn't even go to a VAR check.
No, of course it does. They check every
No, they
goal.
check everything.
It didn't on the big screen.
No, they didn't
There was
stop.
they signed it off.
There's a soft check.
They
every
signed
time.
it off. They signed it off within seconds.
Yeah.
Within seconds.
Yeah.
And that's with players really crowding the ref going, there's something wrong here. You've got to look at this.
Yeah, but I don't think
When
they
we
wouldn't
scored
take
our
that
goal,
into account.
no, of course not. But the players know.
Yeah.
The players know.
But,
But VAR managed to not see the 2 hands in the back. For our goal, nobody protested. Not even Liverpool players protested.
Took 2 minutes. A minute. and a
VAR
half.
took 2 or 3 minutes going, how can we disallow this?
It wasn't that long.
What,
but yeah.
And still nobody has managed to tell me.
Well, my son Daniel, who's here,
Somebody tell me, what were they
Daniel,
looking
I
at?
think, thought that Johnson was potentially in the line of
off for an offside.
Allison, and it's the only. He was sort of. He wasn't close. That's the only thing I can think of because there's nothing.
Nobody's been able to tell me what they were checking. But I mean, honestly, you see 2 hands in the back on Romero, which kills the game. No wonder they were furious, right? Because that kills the game, even at 1-0. You know, what I would give the players props for is I thought they played with a bit of passion and a bit of aggression. And I think Etikike...
In the last half an hour.
No, even throughout. I think even Etikike came off the pitch and said, that was a physical game today. That was a tough.
He also praised the
physical game.
fans. Sorry,
and he
Thomas,
also praised the
Ed.
fan and said it was very, very loud. So all round, even at 1-0, you feel that we're in the game. I really did. And I was enjoying it because we're not playing football. But you know what? If you don't play football, just go and beat them up and try and bully your way through. And it looked like we were trying to do that, right? There was a bit of passion about the players.
It's a shame because if we'd had 11 men on the pitch, I think we'd have won.
We wouldn't have lost.
We definitely wouldn't have
I think we'd have won.
Props to Richarlison, who I sit here and criticise every single
started
week.
for me.
Yeah, fine. But when he came on, and he's good
You
at
don't
that.
think?
No.
Shouldn't have started?
No.
But he's on form.
No.
He's our form
Well,
goal
anyway,
scorer.
he came on and he was brilliant and he scored and he was an agent of chaos and his first touch, which is normally a tackle, was superb and he put himself about and there were times when he popped out on the left and like, Richie, just get in the middle, mate, because that's where we need you. Shame that at 2-1 when whoever it was put him through,
He didn't have the pace.
he's not quick enough. If that had been Colin Mawani, he'd have got through.
Yeah.
Who knows if he'd have scored.
Yeah.
I like Colin Mawani.
He had a good game. Colin Mawani as well.
Listen, I think he's good on the ball. When we were down in the trenches, I thought he was terrible. I thought he was scared of Konate. Every time the ball went up, he wasn't interested. Someone said, if you've just broken your jaw, you're going to get out of the way. On the ball, fine. Nearly made it. I can't even remember the score.
Yeah,
Made
he had
it
a good
1-1.
run. Yeah.
Actually, I thought he went too wide and the deflection helped him.
He is not a back-to-goal striker in the way that Richarlison and Solanke are, and Kane was. But if you get him on the ball, like you saw when
Comes
he had
alive,
that run
yeah.
and that shot, he comes
Absolutely,
alive. And I
absolutely.
think his movement's really
Yeah,
good. And I think tactically, he's smart.
He is smart.
And he's technically very good.
And he makes good runs that
and
no
he
one's
makes
allowed
good
to pass
runs.
into.
And he's a good finisher. And he makes right
Well,
decisions.
is he a good finisher?
I think
I'm yet
so.
to see it, yeah.
Oh, he scored. What about that one against PSG?
2 great goals against PSG.
And he's smart and he makes the right decisions. But I just think if hold-up play, that's not his game.
Yeah. I just didn't think he was the man for those last 20 minutes, and he got dragged. And Richarlison was brilliant.
Richarlison's an agent of chaos, right? And
Yeah.
so, you talk about him starting, and that's fine. Like I personally disagree. I think when Richarlison starts, often he's just redundant for us very often and doesn't really
Guys,
offer
Richarlison
anything
needs
like enough.
energy, and he came on
Yeah.
because
He has more of an
everyone-
impact.
But-
Yeah.
yeah.
He feeds
he
off that.
feeds
Forest
off it.
away when we were flat, pointless.
It was, yeah, and this is the point, right? Is I think there's not many strikers you'd rather come off the bench than Richarlison in a game like that,
Yeah,
right?
chaos.
Agent of chaos comes on, feeds off the energy and the atmosphere. There's a bit of angst. There was a bit of a really niggly, horrible physical game. Loves that.
Yeah.
He loves that.
And I think he
might
likes-
have
I
started,
think he
I might have
likes
started
that.
Richarlison on the left.
Yeah.
but I'm not starting him up front ahead of Marnie.
He seems to respond really well to, right, you've got 15, 20 minutes, go on and just,
Piss everybody off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
caveat
And do
this
your
because
best.
If we come on to Palace, I say I'm not going to start Richarlison up front ahead of Moani, but
We'll come to Palace.
Yeah, there are exceptions.
Read your running
Potentially.
order.
Yeah, exactly.
What's next
No,
then?
I just wanted to caveat.
Not on the running order. I'm just going to quickly read you a couple of stats. All right, we lost. I've got a question on the defeat. in a second. Tottenham have lost 11 home league games in 2025, their most in a single calendar year in club history. Wonderful stuff. This I liked.
Glorious.
This I liked. Xavi Simon's red card for Spurs was the first time a Dutch player has been sent off for a foul on a fellow Dutch player, Virgil van Dijk, obviously, in the Premier League since April 2001. The last instance of two Dutch players being involved in a red card was...
What game? Tell me the game. I'll guess the players.
Weren't you in the room when I told you?
I think he hadn't yet come
I
in.
wasn't.
I don't reckon you were supporting Spurs at this point.
Which room?
It was...
Which game, sorry?
It's Spurs against Chelsea
Oh.
in April 2001.
You can tell me the game.
Willem Korsten.
Yeah.
You were in the room. Come on now.
No, I wasn't.
If you get this and you weren't
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
room.
Oh, no, I was. No, I've just remembered I was.
Oh, you were? All
I've just
right. You're the cheat at quizzes.
Was
I
it-
wasn't using my phone, I promise. Why is it on Google with the
listening, but
maps
I've
of the world?
Go on.
It was Willem Korsten on Mario Melchior.
I was in the room.
Yeah.
I never,
I've just
I
realised
never
that.
would. You could have told me the game. I still wouldn't have got it. But obviously, it was Tottenham.
Okay, and I think that's kind of it. I put a couple of stats on our group this week. If you
But
go
the only
back-
difference, the main difference with those two is that they can't have both been playing in the Dutch team. Was Korsten in the Dutch
I
team?
think he probably was.
No.
Yeah,
Ah,
They were bloody awful.
I don't think
No,
so.
just Dutch. Just Dutch. I didn't
These
say they
two-
were Dutch
While
internationals.
we're doing
Yeah.
while we're doing stats and quizzes, you said you had a.
Oh yeah.
Let's do this at this point.
I was working on AFCON yesterday, so if you watched it on E4, you know the answer.
I'm pretty sure it was the AFCON, but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that just gave me PTSD. The AFCON, the Arsenal.
No, it's not the Arsenal.
I
It is
worked
the
with a
AFCON.
former Spurs player who has 1 cap, 1 goal for England.
1 cap, 1 goal for England.
Yeah. Who's that?
Chris Armstrong.
Answer in the comments. Someone in the comments will get it. Who has playing for
Is
Spurs?
he still playing?
He actually is, but not in England. He's playing out in Iceland. Everyone switched off. No one's in the comments. 1 cap, 1 goal for England.
Was it? I can't. Was it a dirty little back post tap in from
No.
like 2 or 3
No, it
yards?
was a header against Sweden in the Ibrahimovic volley game.
No idea.
It's Stephen Corker.
Oh.
I reckon you could have sat here all day and you wouldn't have got that.
No.
All right, another stat.
Also formerly of Liverpool.
Also formerly Liverpool. Played up front for Liverpool in one game. I think Hodgson or Rogers
Jesus.
stuck him up front.
Full Gary Doherty.
Yeah. No, not Jake Livermore. It's, as Adam Nathan asked, it's
still
Stephen
Stephen
Corker. It's still Stephen Corker. And if you go back Christmas to Christmas, so Christmas 24 to Christmas 2025, Spurs have played 38 Premier League matches, which is a full Premier League season. We are, of the ever-present teams, only West Ham and Wolves have fewer points than Tottenham Hotspur. 37 points from 38 games, Christmas to Christmas.
That's absolutely
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying Spurs fans are miserable and this like that. I mean,
Why?
honestly,
What do you expect?
and the it's not even just it's the standard of football has been eye-wateringly boring.
I'll tell you what's high, though. The ticket prices.
It's only 30 quid for Villa. What are you moaning about? All right, quickly, because I've got to get off to work. Someone said it behind me during the Liverpool game and 2 blokes were having an argument about it. Can we put any of this on Frank?
Compare any of what?
Sorry, Saturday.
Sorry, what's the question?
Can you blame Frank for Saturday? You're going to go on about the Bergvall thing, but he's had 2 players sent off.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, I think it's all Frank. Like I say, the messaging's wrong. He set out the wrong team. He's given them the wrong messaging, and it's consistent throughout. And I've come to a point where it's like, I came after Villa, and I was like, I thought, Villa got 2 worldies, very unlucky. After Fulham, they scored 2 early goals. One's a mistake. It's a bit unlucky. We maybe didn't do enough to get back. It's a bit unlucky. Liverpool, that's a bit unlucky. We had to say it's too much with the mitigation now.
But the red
it's
card.
it's not. It's too much
the
with
red
the mitigation.
card-
There's no credit in the bank.
We've both said, you and I, that if that stays 11 men each, then we're a good chance in that game.
Yeah.
Not least because Liverpool did.
But that's just
jack
obvious.
shit.
11 v 11, you got a chance in any
Yeah,
game.
but as in from what you saw in that first half hour as well, it's not like
Nothing was happening.
Nothing was
It's
happening.
not as though, but Jake, it's not as though in that first half hour we're absolutely battering them.
no,
and it was like we're going to score in a minute.
But they weren't battering
No,
us.
we were in the game.
Oh,
we were
good.
in the game.
Great.
And I think
But Spurs should always be in the game at
What
home.
we've said is an unfortunate iffy, wouldn't like to see it red card against, compounded with a goal that shouldn't have been the second goal that should have been a foul. Maybe
No.
I think I would
No.
give him a pass on this one.
No, because you look at everything around it. I gave him mitigation against Fulham and went, okay, 2-0 down, it's very hard.
Yeah.
But did we do anything like enough to get back into that game against Fulham? No, we didn't. I gave him mitigation against Villa. You know, they scored 2 worldies. But after we went 1 up, did we do anything like enough to force a second goal and kill
Nope.
the game? No, we didn't. And in the first half hour even, you know, I've cited 2 or 3 incidents where it was just all wrong. So this is what I'm saying to you. There's no, it goes on for too long. And you can't see patterns of play. You can't see that the players buy into it or believe it. I can't see how it progresses. So no, there's no mitigation.
But
He might have got unlucky at times. Ange got unlucky at times. Conte got unlucky at times. Conte against Southampton away with the penalty in the last minute, right? Go on, sorry.
No,
there's
no,
mitigation.
that's waiting.
No,
His
you're
point.
right. You're absolutely spot on. I agree with you about the other managers. I still think I don't agree that the players aren't buying into it, whatever it is, because I think the players are still with him. I think we saw that the other day with the
Whatever
way
it is, there you just said it. Whatever it is.
Well,
I don't believe that, Jake. People will say, "Oh, didn't we play with passion in the second?"
No, not just
in
passion,
the
but
last
The players
15
have
minutes.
played with a bit of pride.
They just chucked
Yeah.
the kitchen sink at it. All
Yeah.
the tactics went out the window.
Actually, we played better when the whatever tactics there were, went out the window.
That's how we won in Bilbao.
Exactly.
so he needs to go.
Just a point of order.
I wouldn't say he needs to go.
Oh.
I would say that he needs to actually start showing something that we can believe in. Because at the moment, there's nothing to believe in.
Carlos Baliba.
If he went, if it break news now that Frank's gone, I'd be like,
Yeah, but
All right.
I've been saying that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
months. A few of us have on here. There's no show next Monday. This is the last show before the new year. We'll do one. James doesn't know it yet. I need to talk to him after Brentford, which is New Year's Day. We'll try and squeeze one in before Brentford and Sunderland. There is no show after Palace. Quickly on Palace, but also I just want to quickly ask about the transfer window. I think Frank is here to stay. I think he's getting the money. The club needs to spend money on players. But quickly on Palace, no Romero. Dance comes in, fine. Who's going to play 10? Sarr, who has played 10-ish.
no,
is not here.
Sarr's at AFCON.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll
He's
be
not here.
Bergvall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Bergvall.
Okay.
Got to be.
He'll be Bergvall.
Koulibaly back on the left with Richarlison up front.
I
not
would
necessarily.
I'd actually switch it around. I'll put Kolo Muani on the right because that's where he's made a career and he's been at his best. And I'll put Kudos on the left and Richarlison up front.
But I think he'll go Kudus, Bergvall. I think he'll play Tell,
Do you?
just for what it's worth. And I think put Muani up top. Unless he plays Richarlison and Muani.
But if it,
He'll
I mean,
got to play Richarlison.
But
now.
if it were me, I'd actually go completely different to all of that. I mean, I would genuinely, I would go with
Kane, Son and
Bergvall, Bergvall and Graham midfield.
Modric.
Bergvall and Graham midfield. Kudos right. Tell left. Muani and Richarlison up front. I'll play 4-4-2. 4-4-2. Let's get it up there, right? And just
And run
create
around.
chaos. Yeah. Get them let Bergvall and Gray play in their actual positions. Benton Core played well, but enough with him now. Let's get Bergvall in his best position.
Lose to Palace. I mean, he's lost the crowd anyway, as Benny Guy says on here, but I don't think he's lost the boardroom. I think he'll still be here. Window opens in 10 days' time. I mean, quickly, what do we need? There's talk of Savinho again. We need a left winger. We probably need... Again, I'm going back to Newcastle, and look at that Chelsea again. We're 2-0 down at half-time. Chucks on Enzo. Immediately ups their tempo and their performance. That great midfield of Enzo and Caicedo. Our engine room is lacking
It's still a left
little
wing.
bit.
But then who are we going to get rid of? Because we can't sign another one.
Well, Johnson will probably go.
Yeah, but he's sort of but we've still got 3 if we sign one.
Yeah, but
4
it's
if
still
you
the
include
same.
Richarlison.
If we lose Johnson to sign one more, it's still the
Sure.
same.
Then that has to happen.
And I would buy. I really want to buy a left back, a midfielder, and a left winger.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at
A left
getting
back
Davies
would
out the door
definitely-
at this point and getting a left back in. I don't think you necessarily need Dragushin and Danso if you've got Vuskovic coming in next season, and Vuskovic will come in next season. So I think you could lose one of them quite happily. I don't know who would buy. Yeah, it won't be Danso. It's got to be Dragushin at this point.
Sure, his agent can find someone.
So yeah, well, exactly.
Been very
So-
quiet, isn't he? But now he's back. We'll hear from him again.
Yeah, so you know, Dragusin, I don't know if it's fair on him or not, but you know, he could probably go with Vuskovic coming in next season. But I think if in January you lose Davies and Johnson and you bring in a left back and a left winger, that's about as much as you could really hope for.
I would buy a midfielder.
Do you know what I want? I want loans, Premier League players on loan with a point to prove. whether they need.
Pre-World Cup players,
Absolutely.
like Savinho, who I watched.
Who did
Garnacho,
Villa
I'm
bring
like,
in
you're the
last
same
year?
person.
Who did Villa bring in?
Rashford and Asensio.
There's some talk
Nearly
about
took him to
Conor
fourth.
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Nearly took him to fourth.
Does Gallagher change? We need a progressive passer. We do need a passer in midfield. Gallagher ain't that player.
Isn't he?
No, I don't
No,
think
he's
so.
Bustler.
He's like
He's another Sarr, another.
he's that sort of number 10 that
Bergvall.
Bergvall should be, but
He's
then
not a 10,
but it's not a 10. No, exactly. But he's a decent player. I'd
I
have him.
wouldn't say no to him, but we need someone who.
I don't
knows.
even care. That's the thing. I don't care if we don't actually buy. I think loans with players who are ready to hit. I don't want any more project players.
No.
It's got to be guys with Premier League experience. And if it means, we can't to get these deals done in January is tough. Fine, loan. Just get him in on loan. Point to prove.
Yeah.
Come in.
Oh, you say point to prove pre-World Cup.
Pre-World
I need
Cup.
to play to get in that squad,
Yeah.
which is why I think we'll probably sign Savinho. I know he signed a new contract, but that was just to get a few more quid. I imagine. I think he'll be out the door.
That makes a loan less likely, though, doesn't it? So
Again, you could still loan him and sign him. in the
yeah,
summer.
sure. Any of the
Because
above.
if Semenyo's not going to come to us, he might go there.
And if you're bringing Savinho in, then Audibert's another one that can frankly go like he's all right. He's okay. I don't think he's ever going to be strong enough physically for the Premier League. So if you're bringing Savinho in, Los Audibert.
Sugar Ray has
Ivan
kindly donated for Christmas, for Hanukkah, whichever, just for us being wonderful. And Sugar Ray, you're wonderful. £9.99 donation. Thank you so much. Superb Pod, he says, spend this on advertising.
Oh, well, we will.
James says we're going to spend it on pizza. Right, what do you want, boys?
Margarita, please.
I want 3 points from somewhere.
All I want for Christmas
3
is
points
3
and a
points
song.
at Palace. Palace is one of those places we have one there,
You
but we
know
go to
something?
die.
But they are not in form at the minute.
not in
They
form.
look knackered. They've got to play Tuesday night.
They've got to play Tuesday night. Their manager is kicking off, and I think that's the prelude to their window.
Oh, he's going.
He's right, exactly. So
Summer, he's going.
Oh, summer,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, so they are a club.
It's
I
going to
think
summer.
I think they're going to drop like a stone over the next 2 or 3
Yeah.
months. Right? They are
After
there.
Sunday.
They are there to be had.
Sure.
Right? If we turn up and go at them with a bit of aggression, a bit of tempo, they're there to be had. And if they go a goal down, right? Most teams would be looking at that going, let's get them a goal
No,
down.
Gaz,
we will go there.
Gaz.
They'll
Are you
tickle our
saying-
belly
Yeah.
and we'll lose.
No, we'll
3-0.
play with
Are you saying that the Eagles are there to be shot down?
They definitely are.
We will play with the monotony of that drum they bang behind the goal.
Who'd you back in a fight, an eagle or a cockerel?
Eagle.
So that's that then.
But look, they're there to be had.
Yeah, they
we
are. They've been
won't.
terrible.
We won't
Teta
lay a
needs a
glove.
goal. Who do you need to play? Tottenham bloody.
We
Hotspur.
won't lay a glove.
Right, quick prediction for Palace. Come on then.
I hope I'm still too drunk from Christmas to actually even.
Too
be
full.
bothered.
I'll be too full. 2-1 Tottenham.
1-1. I'm seeing you the night before, so I can get you drunk.
What, Christmas Eve?
27th.
Yeah,
Yes.
What are you doing?
go around his house.
What for?
I might put his address on the comments. Everyone come round.
Who's cooking? What are you having?
Yeah, what are we doing?
We're going to take away.
Oh, what? I'm
I'm not,
going to have to
What?
spend Ray's £9.99. Thanks, Ray. Just sorted me out.
What good takeaways you got near you?
a lovely curry. Really good curry.
Suddenly Johnny's back in.
I'm in. You had me at curry. All right, we're having a little break here on an Echo of Glory. Look, if Frank gets sacked, James, you'll have to give me the keys and let me in.
Blues and
Frank.
twos.
Yeah, Blues and
Frank
twos it
gets
up.
sacked, we'll have our Christmas party in here.
Well, all right, we will see you, James. Can I say this? We'll see you maybe on the 2nd of Jan. That's fine. We'll sort it out. We'll see you after Brentford, maybe that evening or the 2nd of Jan. Have a good Christmas, Happy New Year, and up the Spurs.